Opportunity squandered and lost. I mean, she was so close to winning a Grand Slam title and she let it slip away.
She gets asked about it all the time, but she has not lost a set at the 94 Open. She's never won a Grand Slam title, and in fact, when you look at the number of Grand Slam victories for the semifinalists, 15 for Steffi. Sanchez Vicario with 2 French titles. Sabatini won here in 1990. Steffi also has not dropped the set here, Mary.
No, she hasn't. You know, we were talking so much in the last couple of weeks about the bad back that Steffi Graf has been suffering with in the last month or so. She sure hasn't shown it. Every one of her 5 matches before this one have gone less than 1 hour. She's looking crisp. She's looking focused. You know, when you're injured, a lot of times you play even better because you don't want to stay out there longer. And she has great respect for Novotna's game. Novotna's playing very well. Of course, this one plays a level above everybody else. So I think Graf is going to have to come out very hard and strong. The fact that she respects Novotna is actually going to work against Jana, I think, because she'll really want to nail it down and start off big.
You know, Mary, Novotna's never really played well at the U.S. Open, and finally, after she beat Mary Pierce, she said, for the first time, I felt comfortable playing here.
Yeah, it's a difficult tournament to get used to. A lot of players never get used to it. You know, Bjorn Borg never won here, for instance. But I think Novotna is starting to get used to the idea of playing under these crazy conditions, the noise, the crowd, the fans, and all that. And she's thriving under it this year. That's nice to see.
Steffi has not had a match last even an hour long so far in her 5 wins at this tournament, ranked number 1 in the world, 5'9", 132. And you see her record this year, twice beaten by Sanchez Vicario in that 56-4 record. And here's her road to the semifinals. She's dropped only 15 games so far, Mary.
Yeah, not much against Ann Mall, Sandra Kasich, Radka Babkova, Zina Garrison-Jackson, 3 games only lost from there. And Amanda Kutzer, she killed the other day, losing just 2 games.
Novotna's toughest match, as you see, ranked 8th in the world. She is seeded 7th here, 5'9", 139. No titles in 94. But perhaps the biggest roadblock for her came in the first round, a match that took about an hour and a half, a straight set victory.
Yep, she got past that one, and then she got better and better. And in fact, she beat Maggie Maleva 0-4. And against Mary Pierce, that's one of the best matches I've ever seen Novotna play. She knew how to attack, she knew when to defend, and she really took down the highly touted Mary Pierce in fine fashion here a couple of days ago on the stadium court. Killed her.
Well, Mary, you talked about Steffi's come-from-behind victory over Jana in the 93 Wimbledon final, and we asked Graf how she'll approach today's match with Novotna.
Well, I always wonder who is making the draw. Why do I always have to play Graf in the semifinals? But I guess it's the way it is, and I'll have to deal with that. And I will take this as another match. I will concentrate on the ball. I will try to be aggressive as much as I can. And what I said before, if I can stay with Steffi right from the beginning, I think I have a very good chance.
Well, that's obviously Jana talking about her assignment today against Steffi, and she's been repeatedly saying how important it is to come right out in the first couple of games and stay with Steffi.
No, she's right about that. There are 2 things that Jana Novotna does very well when she's playing well, and that's serve. Her serve is big, and her forehand does a lot of damage for her. They both have to be on, and she's got to stay with Steffi. Once Steffi gets on a roll, she tends not to look back.
All right, now here's Steffi talking about how she'll approach this match today.
Well, she's obviously one of the more aggressive players, and she tries to come in when she can. She feels very comfortable at the net, and that's not very often around anymore. And she's got a big first serve. I think that's very important about the way I'm going to serve and the way I'm going to return her serve. I think that are pretty important points there.
Steffi to serve to start the match. Novotna says she likes to receive in the first game.
Under these very gusty conditions, both serves should be effective because both Graf and Novotna have high tosses, and Novotna had an awful lot of trouble in this win yesterday in the mixed doubles final, which she lost.
Distracted by a paper flying around in the breeze.
That stayed in. Novotna thought it long. Looked pretty good to me. Jane Tabor from England did not overrule.
15 all. Good start for Novotna.
15-30.
Really is. She got a short ball, something she can attack. Did a nice job of it. It's nice to see Novotna declaring herself right off the bat.
Tossing into the wind, or with all this gustiness here, as high as Steffi.
Jana, as I
It's
said,
not easy, is it?
nope. And Jana's is very high as well. Jana Novotna's.
There's Jane Tabor in the chair. 30 all.
$40-30.
Deuce. Novotna said after her win against Pierce that I'm good at the net, but I'm so good from the baseline.
You tend to think of her as one of the very few serving volleyers in women's tennis. Her coach, Hanna Mandlikova, was another one. Martina Navratilova. Some of the best have been Czechs. Pretty long point, and Graf, another long rally that goes to Graf. She's being pretty conservative on those long rallies. Hanna Mandlikova, Novotna's coach for quite a few years now. This stadium court was the site of one of her greatest ever victories. She beat Chris Evert in the semis of the 1985 U.S. Open and then beat Martina Navratilova in the final. Just two great rounds.
Anna was honored just a few minutes before this match on the stadium court with all the other Hall of Famers in attendance.
An inductee this year with Bud Collins. That one. There's that big forehand I was speaking about. And what beat Graf on this shot was the great length enjoyed by Novotna. Draws it back to deuce.
For the second time. We had Steffi's match against Zina the other day. She already had won about 3 games by this time.
Unfortunately true. Nicely done. Got Novotna cold on that one. I feel like
Advantage
both
Graf.
Graf and Novotna are showing great respect for the win in this first game. Not going for too much. Graf just went behind Novotna and surprised her a bit. Another game point for Graf.
Took 6 minutes. That's long in Graf time. She holds serve.
This game. Jana
Back at the U.S. Open. Fans of all ages here for the women's semifinals. Novotna to serve for the first time in the match. Novotna's a little unpredictable. You've said in the past she's double faulted a number of times this year at the Open. 9-1 victory.
It's a good first serve, though. Graf said it, mentioned it already. That one, 102 miles an hour. And she can open up her shoulders even more for that first delivery. Wasn't a bad Novotna volley, but it went right into Steffi's power backhand. She met it beautifully. The big forehand return out. Watch how nicely she meets this one. Bang for the winner.
I'm not sure whose toss is higher.
I think Novotna's.
Novotna's?
Yes, I really do think so. I think and her serve is more fragile than Steffi Graf's. Lovely volley. She is a terrific volleyer, Jim. If there's one thing she does better than Graf, she's a superb volleyer. Much better skill than Graf when she's up at the net. Doesn't try to do too much with the first one because she knows it's going to open her up for the winning volley. For 40-15.
Game Novotna.
Rather easy service game for Novotna. 1-1 in the first. These two first tangled at the 1987 French. And Steffi beat her 6-love, 6-1 on her way, Steffi's way, to winning her first Grand Slam title. For Steffi, the match where she beat Martina 8-6 in the third.
Nice heavy hitting from the baseline from Novotna. That's really, those are nice looking strokes. You know, she's being pretty conservative, not going for too much. If she can keep getting back these Graf balls and force Graf to make errors, we could have a real match here. You have to give Steffi Graf the chance to make errors. And because she has such an imposing forehand and serve, a lot of players can't even get that far.
40-30.
You wonder if Novotna's psyche is still fragile. She gets in that position today.
Bingo.
2-1 Graf. We're on serve in the first, and we'll return to the U.S. Open after this word from your local station. What was he saying?
That's a great stab volley from Novotna. She kind of liked it too. That's a glove save is what that is. The big slice approach from Novotna. The best one I think since Navratilova. And then she got, again, she just made a great stab at that one. It was going the other way. Didn't hit that volley cleanly, did Graf.
I think Novotna's accomplished what she wanted to, is come out, have a little confidence in the first few games.
Graf wants to give Novotna the impression that she can take the net away from her. But she volleyed that one poorly. That stayed in. Novotna doesn't think so. It's a bad sign when Novotna starts looking at Hana Malikova. It means she's getting rattled and she's getting emotional about something she can do nothing about. I hate it when she starts looking at Hana a lot.
Well, who's past me? She was right there.
It was very close. Novotna could very well be right about this, but it was too close for Jane Tabor to overrule, and I thought when it was struck that it was good. It may not have been, but you can't overrule something that close. But Novotna understands the weight of every shot, and she's serving early in a match. And now she's down 15-30. Or rather 30-15, sorry.
When she starts looking over at Hana on a close call, what does that tell you?
I just said, you know, she's getting rattled, you know, that she's that she's upset. You can't be upset this early in a match. They're still on serve. Game point for 2-all. I think that's a very good serve for Novotna to use to Graf all day long. Serve wide out on the deuce court. They make a nice, easy cross-court volley into the open court.
Game to Novotna. On serve in the first.
It was a big game, Jim. It's silly. It may seem silly to be talking about big games so early in the match, but in fact, it's not. Novotna must stay with Graf, and now that she's held, she can try to attack serve. That's beautiful.
Oh, is it ever?
This backhand approach was a bit short, gave Steffi just enough time to get around that ball and topspin it past Novotna's head. And Graf again taking away the net. She's got such a big forehand, Graf. She should come into the net off of it. Nice to see. Someone like Graf can win from the net because her approach shots are so good. That lob just wide, but it's a good idea. Graf is sending a very deliberate message to Novotna. I know you're coming in. Novotna tends to close in pretty tightly. And Novotna, by lobbing her as much as she's already done in this young match, is saying, you know, don't close the net that tightly. I'll go over you.
All. They've met 8 times in Grand Slam matches. Steffi's won 7 of them. You see overall it's 20-3 advantage Graf. The one time in a Grand Slam competition Novotna beat Steffi was
couple of years ago.
Australian. You were there.
Yep. I think Graf was below par. She wasn't feeling too well for that one, but Novotna got to the final of the Australian that year, losing to Sellos.
And a break point for Jana Novotna.
Again, the terrific depth of shot from Novotna drew the error from Graf. Doesn't usually show much, but she was happy with the way she defended the net with those 2 volleys. Again, she's not nearly as comfortable as her opponent at the net, but she read this one right and saves herself from being broken. Big chance for Novotna.
Back the deuce. Another break point. For Novotna to go up 3 games to 2 in the first.
And if the chair, if anyone notices that, Novotna will be in trouble. You're not supposed to do that. You can get coached during Davis Cup play. You can get coached during Federation Cup action. This is supposed to be one-on-one.
What would be the penalty if they caught her?
They'd give a warning.
Second time?
We're watching. In that last game, I was surprised to see Graf at the net. I think she's allowing Novotna to dictate the strategy of the match. It's not where Graf is comfortable. It's where she's most vulnerable, in fact. So obviously she's a little worried about this match. She thinks she's got to attack Novotna. Novotna goes for quite a bit on her first serve. I'm surprised that at 50% she's still this effective. 30-15 now. Novotna seems not to like that ball. She must think it's dead or old or something. She wants it taken out of action.
Point for Graf. Back to that question now. Jana is caught sending in signals. First time's a warning, second time's a point.
A point, and then a default. Nice bit of play there from Graf. You know, Steffi Graf's father, Peter, used to get caught for coaching all the time. We used to call him Peekaboo Peter. He'd sneak around. Once he was caught by the chair umpire in one position, he'd move around the stadium so he could continue to do it. He doesn't do it anymore. In fact, he's not around as much anymore. Steffi's mother, Heidi Graf, is around much more than Peter Graf now. He spends a lot of time in Boca Raton, Florida.
Deuce.
Doesn't have a return game down yet. Jim, Novotna is not serving a very high percentage of first serves, but Graf has been inefficient in attacking her second serve.
Another break point for Graf. Chance to get it back on serve in the first set. Now 3-all.
CBS Sports coverage of the U.S. Open, a USTA event, is sponsored by MCI, the company that brings you proof positive. Hertz, for business, for pleasure, nobody does it exactly like Hertz. And by U.S. Postal Service, we deliver smart solutions for you.
So Steffi breaks right back. 3 games apiece in the first.
Got a bit anxious there. Jumped on that short ball. Only 67 miles an hour. Cut it too hard and drove it into the net. Novotna has had some injuries this year. She had a bad leg injury at the start of the year, and then she had a strained bicep and nerve injury in her arm. And that's been for the last several months.
Didn't drop a point in that service game. 4-3 Graf. Leads 4-3 in the first. And Gabby are next on the stadium court. Steffi, the winner of the first Grand Slam event of the year, the Australian, then lost at the French and first round, in fact, at Wimbledon. How important is this tournament for her to salvage the year?
You know, she's only lost 4 matches, but 2 of them came in those slams. I think it's very important for Graf. Last year, in the absence of Monica Seles, after Seles won the Australian, she won everything. And that forehand, which she relies upon, she's made 2 forehand errors in this game. Graf's coach for the last couple of years, Heinz Gundhardt.
Heinz won the over 35 doubles at Wimbledon. Love 30. You know, the person sitting at home watches Steffi all the years, and they say, what does Heinz do? How does he make her better?
Yeah, well, I think he's he was a very gifted doubles player. He had terrific hands. He was a very natural serve volley player. And he's got a pretty easygoing personality as well. Good pressure from Novotna, Heidi Graf.
Double fault. Break point for Graf.
Novotna is referring to the wind, accusing that of causing her first double fault of the day. She's trying to find a good toss. Conditions are very gusty down there. That's a great serve. Heidi Graf is the mother of 2 professional athletes. 90-mile-an-hour serve got it done. Steffi's brother Michael is a Formula 3 race car driver, currently ranked number 21. Although he's had a couple of accidents. In fact, on his 23rd birthday in Berlin last month, he was in a bit of an accident. But he introduced Steffi to Michael Bartels, who's also a race car driver, Steffi's boyfriend. And in fact, Michael Graf dates Stephanie Rahe, so there are a lot of Michaels and Steffis going on in that family. Yes, it does. Advantage Graf. This for a 5-3 lead. Oh, that's out of here. The forehand really let down Novotna in that game. Graf pressured it, and he couldn't hold up.
Now Steffi will serve for the first set, leading 5-3.
Talked about Steffi's Grand Slam year. For Novotna, she lost in the Australian Open in the quarters to Sabatini, lost in the first round of the French to the Israeli-born Russian Anna Smeshnova. And though she beat Martina Navratilova in the 93 Wimbledon match, she lost her in the 94.
Graf.
A little smile from Steffi Graf. Again, she's pressuring Novotna, putting Novotna on the defense, even up at net. She had to recover her balance a bit there and was a bit off stride for that volley. Terrific little flip on that backhand.
A little pump of the fist.
Yeah, well, she's pretty happy. She's won 14 of the last 18 points. Graf is putting in a nice mix, a nice blend of tops and backhands, and in that case, a slice backhand down the line. And she just carved into this thing. That's why Graf is so good on grass. That slice backhand of her dives into the blades of grass and barely comes up. And it worked very well on this hard court.
She's 2 points from claiming the first set.
Excellent serve volley from Graf. 107-mile-an-hour serve got her into the net nice and tight. And again, it's a pleasure to see Graf willing to attack from the net. Normally, she'd just hang from the baseline.
Set point here. Still has a couple set points in her pocket. His first set taking almost as long as Steffi's 5 previous matches here at the Open. All been in the high 40s, low 50-minute range. There it is. First set to Graf.
6 games to 3.
6 games to 3. Start the second set. Novotna serving.
Nice way to start off set 2. Novotna in set 1 had 10 unforced errors on the forehand alone, 17 unforced in all, and she got busted twice. So she's got a hold here. Redeclare herself. That's her first of the day. 107.
Exactly, 107. That's pretty strong.
That's not bad. Graf has hit one that high as well today.
Novotna was up a break at one time in that first set.
What a return. Right off the line. Some whistles. Some people thought it long.
About that return.
It will be interesting to see how Novotna decides to serve in this second set. Obviously, Graf has got a pretty good bead on her serving and her patterns.
Game to Novotna.
Match, unless Sabatini can really raise her game and serve effectively. Novotna moved very well to this. It wasn't a good drop shot at all. Floated. Gave her plenty of time to attack down the line.
Now 15 all. You talked about Steffi's boyfriend being a race car driver back in Germany. He's competing in the Formula 3000 division, but wants to drive Formula 1, but he doesn't have enough money.
When you ask the German press about it, they say that Michael Bartels is a better driver than Michael Graf, but yeah, he doesn't have the same dough. Good pass from Novotna. Not much wrong with this approach shot by Graf, but the pass was even better. Yeah, Michael Bartels wanted to race Formula 1, but his team, I guess, lost too much money, and he couldn't do it. I don't think Jana Novotna is used to passing Graf at the net. You normally don't have to hit passing shots against Graf. She tried to curl that one cross court, and she was well behind the baseline.
Deuce. At the net today, Novotna's approached 22 times and 11 points won.
Yeah, only 50% effectiveness. Graf is doing a better job, relatively speaking. Her percentages are better.
How about Novotna coming back to third set when she drops the first one to Steffi?
Well, she's done it twice. Did it in Chicago '92, and she did it the Australian when she beat her 8-6 in the third back in '91.
Advantage Graf. Game to Graf. Let's get a report now. Andrea Joyce, welcome.
All right, Jim. Well, you never know who you're going to find under these USTA straw hats. One of our all-time favorites, Alan Alda. How are you enjoying the tennis so far?
I didn't know what to expect under there. I'm loving this. This is incredible. I don't like to be talking while they're playing, but it's amazing to see somebody who's people who are light years ahead of you in the game. You don't even know what the problems are for them, you know?
Well, wait a minute. Now, you play. You mean to tell me you don't think that you could beat Steffi Graf?
Not if she was on her sick, on her deathbed. I wouldn't do it. She's unbelievable.
I have to ask you a little bit about tomorrow. Andre Agassi will have Brooke Shields in his box. You have this good guy image. What about Todd Martin's people? Have they asked you to come and make an appearance in his box? Because he's the All-American kid.
I don't understand this question. I'm supposed to be Brooke Shields in the other guy's box. How does that work?
It could work. You're a nice guy. Todd Martin's a nice guy. They haven't asked you, I guess.
No, I didn't get a call.
All right. Mary, you got a big fan down here. Back upstairs to you guys.
It's very nice to hear.
Observations from Alan Mashnova. 30 love Novotna. Andrea thought it was tough getting an answer from Mana Indo.
Again, great length on the strokes of both players.
Novotna. 2-1 Novotna in the second set.
That's a pretty good statistic, isn't it?
I like those percentages.
50 and zip after taking the first.
Which she has done today, but love 30. Steffi a little sloppy at the net.
15.
time.
And again, a nice sneaky smile from Graf. The lob set up the shot for Graf, and it was a very nice reply from Novotna. Good defense. But Novotna couldn't chase down that final one. And again, a nice smile crossed over Graf's face, because once again, she was effective from the net.
30 all.
Those are terrific numbers for Steffi Graf. Almost 80% first serves in. And look how effective she's been on second serve. Novotna not able to attack that high-kicking second delivery. The approach shot wasn't really that good, but the volley was terrific. Jeez. See how this thing floated up there? Graf could have actually done a little bit more with this shot, but Novotna held very firm at the net with that volley. Just terrific technique.
Match is now an hour old. Deuce.
First double fault of the day. Bad luck for Graf. Gets her in trouble.
Novotna with a break point. In the second. But if you're just joining us, she was up a break in the first set and lost at 6-3.
Again, the approach shot was quite good, but she's just not as natural a volleyer. It's a good shot from Novotna. Nice forcing play. She had to go for a lot, and it kicked in. Novotna has been very predictable in where she directs her second serves to Graf.
Where's this one going?
It's not. So far, she hasn't served one to her forehand on second serves. Here's her first.
You've actually broken it down, Mary.
Yeah, on second serves. Look at that. You want to avoid the Graf forehand. It's dangerous enough on first serves. That's in the deuce court. In the ed court, same thing. Going into the body, a good idea to try to jam Graf. And it's a safer shot. Aim into the biggest point of the box. There comes another second delivery. And two sledgehammer forehands. One for the return, one more for the pass. Again, Novotna's forehand is a feared shot as well. She hasn't had any luck there. She's made quite a few unforced errors off that side. 12.
15-30. Novotna broke to go up 3-2 in the first set. Steffi broke right back, and now she's threatening to do so once again here in the second set.
Nice athletic volley from Novotna. And you know, you feel like smacking this one too. Even though you know it's out, a lot of players swing at it because it's just too tempting not to. But Novotna resisted temptation for 30 all.
Jana serving now to go up 4-1 in the second set.
This shot did look good. Novotna has not had one call go her way. I think she might have reason to be upset on this one. Because now instead of enjoying a 1-4 lead, we're right back to deuce. And a break here means they'd be back on serve.
Break point for Graf.
Advantage Novotna.
It's worked so well for Graf going into this last shot, but she just couldn't get on, didn't hoist it high enough at all. An easy smash for Novotna and another chance for a 1-4 lead. I'm proud of Graf, I really am, Jim. She sets it up with a big topspin, a couple of big topspin backhands, stands her ground, decides to come into the net and finish things off. Nice emphatic final volley from Graf. Good numbers from Graf from the net. Novotna still operating at about 50%, but she must continue to attack.
Wide. And advantage Novotna. She's had several chances to close out this game.
This is her third game point, Jim, and it's a crucial part of the match. I mean, the entire tenor of the match and the psychology of the match would change if she could convert this. Get up 4-1. Her coach, Jana Malakova, is liking the look of that. When you approach right up the middle, center of the ball, as she does here, she doesn't give Graf any angle to create. And again, boy, she cuts under that ball beautifully. She's still got some stick on it, but she's also got control. Game point number 4 for Novotna.
Has a familiar ring to it, Mary, although the last time was the third set.
4-1 in the third. She was up against Graf at Wimbledon last year. Novotna's been so much more effective at net in this set from the first set. And again,
another winner at the net. Only 39% success in the first set, and now 75% in the second.
See, she knows what to do better than Graf at the net. She's got better instincts, better moves, knows how to cover the ball.
15.
That high kicking serve of Graf's has worried Novotna a bit. She's been sinking a lot of those into the net. Tries to cut it. That is tremendous. And one of my favorite shots of all time was Martina Navratilova sliced backhand, especially when she approached. This isn't even an approach, really. That was from beyond the baseline, and she was still able to cut it that fine.
15-30.
Just what we were talking about. Novotna getting it done at the net a lot better in this second set. But Graf's volley brings it to 30-all.
Break point for Novotna. Chance to go up 5-1. Great placement on that serve by Graf. Only 89 miles an hour. undisputed calls for Novotna have come from that end, from that baseline.
That forehand looked big.
Well,
hard to tell from that angle, but
that looked pretty good.
yeah, Novotna didn't even try to argue it down. She hasn't won one argument yet. Game point for Graf.
Game to Graf. Novotna leads 4-2 in the second. Let's go back down to Andrea.
All right, Jim, we're with Hanna Mandlikova, Jana's coach. How crucial was that fifth game when Jana held serve?
Oh, very, very important. But I think what happened in the first set, Steffi went over Jana's forehand very, very hard. And Jana just was keep missing. So I think she had to mix it up a little bit higher. And come in more, you know, because Steffi really kept her on the baseline. But in the second set, she's tried to come in much more. And that's the only way she has a chance to play a good match against or win.
A lot of people think that in a tight match against Steffi like this, that she'll be reliving Wimbledon. Has she put that completely behind her?
No, I think, you know, a week after Wimbledon, she forgot it. They look at the tapes, and she absolutely forgot about that match. And it showed that she was playing very well at the end of last year, and she really doesn't think about it at all.
You weren't sending signals to her earlier, were you?
No, of course not.
Not you. All right, back upstairs to you guys.
Of course not. Double fault. And that's the second one of the match for Novotna. These two have met twice this year, both times on clay. Graf won in Hamburg 3-3 and in Berlin 2-3. Novotna trying to send it to a third set of 4-2.
Oh! 40-15.
She's been quite busy this week.
She's just a terrific all-around player. She's one of the very few players who enters every event. Arantxa Sanchez Vicario tends to do that, but this year she avoided the mixed. She's making a real solid run at the singles title. Been talking about the very powerful but vulnerable, kind of shaky forehand from Novotna. She was way behind the baseline and you know, just tried to sort of bump that ball back. It wasn't going to be a good shot even if it had cleared the net. But Novotna still has game point.
And she takes the game. 5-2, Novotna.
New balls.
Steffi waiting for a little bit of the crowd to settle.
Pulls it long.
La 15.
We were looking at that graphic, non-stop Novotna, and the fact that she's played all the doubles and fared well here in the doubles. She'll be, in fact, playing a semifinal match with Arantxa Sanchez Vicario.
They're the second seed. In fact, 3 of the 4 semifinalists are still in the dubs. Gabriela Sabatini is playing with Larissa Neelan. They'll play in the semis against Novotna Sanchez Vicario. Points
from the set. The final thought on the women's dubs.
Love 13.
Quite a story going on this year with Gigi Fernandez and Natalia Zvereva.
Yeah, no kidding. They're trying once again. They were in the same position last year. They had won all 3 Grand Slam titles, doubles titles coming into the Open, and they got tripped up in the semis. They're in the semis again this year. They'll later play Katerina Maleva and Robin White. That would be a great story. Taking all 4 titles is remarkable.
Set points for Novotna.
More great work from the net. The slice backhand to Graf's backhand.
Thank you.
I hate to keep hearkening back to that Wimbledon match, but Novotna has not taken a set from Steffi since that day, that July day. Now deuce.
Advantage Graf.
I guess Graf gets her calm from her mother. Again, I think this is a pretty good approach. Graf whips off a topspin winner. Novotna keeps going to the backhand side, keeps challenging it. Novotna's forehand has to hold up for her. She's had a couple of forehand errors in this game, 17 in all now. Absolutely vital that that stays strong for her. Graf is going there. Set point number 3. They've both broken twice.
match, Graf.
She came in on a bluff, paid for it. Gave Graf all kinds of time to set up for this topspin pass. So 3 set points denied. A terrific save there, and then a very fine smash from Jana Novotna. She went for the angle, which was a smart play because she was being pushed on her heels.
Quite a game here.
Yeah.
Fourth deuce now.
Forehand again. Sails long.
Big serve by Graf. Novotna had her chances to close out the set.
Novotna
Now
leads
she'll
5
serve
games to
for
3.
it. 5-3. Budweiser Airship. Bud 1 Airship. Providing these beautiful pictures of the USTA National Tennis Center. Full house for the women's semifinals. Arantxa and Gabby will be coming up after this one. Missed it.
15.
Graf was helped a bit. This shot of hers hits the net, bobbles off of it slightly, and that's why Novotna misses.
Just grazed it.
Yep. Jumps over her racket. Better numbers.
Yeah, error prone in that first set for sure.
This is a pretty good match.
Great match.
15-13.
That's a great shot that she chased down. The thing is, Novotna had angled it too. And look, see how she had to quickly make a very last fractional moment adjustment to handle that slice volley. It was knifing away from Graf, and she was still able to contain it, control it, and make the shot.
15-30.
And again, that forehand is betraying her. Caught that one late, which means she's nervous. Steffi Graf was down 2 breaks in this second set. She's about to get right back on serve now. One break, sorry.
Break for Graf. Back on serve in the second set.
Novotna leads 5 games to 4.
How key that would be to Novotna's success here. 2 unforced errors, and then one other one that Graf, frankly, forced, also on the forehand side.
They met in the Wimbledon final. Novotna in the third set led 4-1 serving at 40-30 and lost 5 straight games.
Now, this isn't quite the gagaroo that one was, though. I mean, Steffi Graf has come up with the goods.
Is there a little gagging, though?
Oh, again, that forehand contact point really drifts back when she's nervous. There's another one. See how she didn't really feel like getting her racket speed through that ball. That's her 20th unforced error on the forehand side, Jim. Pretty good barometer for her nerves. Is where she's meeting that forehand.
.30 love. And an ace.
And 104 right down the tee. Really opened it up. The wind took that toss away.
And a double, her second of the match. Practicing on the outer courts, Andre Agassi.
His coach Brad Gilbert there with him. He took yesterday off, just completely wanted to rest, get away from the tennis. He played as good a tennis match as I've ever seen from him against Thomas Muster in the quarterfinals. Killed him 6-0 in the third against one of the game's grubbiest players. Warming up for that Todd Martin match, part of Super Saturday tomorrow.
Well, you can just sense Novotna so shaky right now, has to be very careful. Starting to slip away. The third double fault.
And Renee Stubbs, Steffi Graf's best friend on the tour. Like what they're seeing now. Novotna couldn't put enough on that volley. Graf had a big hole to hit through.
And another double.
That's hard to see, isn't it? It's painful. It's a little bit painful to watch, Jim. She had 3 set points. She was real close to drawing this match dead even. And now, obviously, the tension and the nerves are taking over.
She's so fragile. 3 break points. Steffi, and another double fault. 3 of them in that game. When we come back, Steffi will serve for the match. For the match. Novotna led 5-2 in the second set. She had 3 set points. This all started to crumble.
This is a good point from Novotna because she'd lost 16 of the last 19 points.
A lot of cries from the crowd. Let's go, Jana. That one.
She was sitting on it too.
Points from the match. That serve was wide. This time, Graf double faults for the 3rd time in the match. Novotna losing the last 5 games at Wimbledon, embracing the Duchess of Kent, sobbing on royalty's shoulder. This will be equally as painful. Steffi closes it out right here.
We don't have a lot of royalty here in Flushing, Queens. Maybe Bumpy Fraser, USTA honcho, could say something to her if she loses this one, because it will very much be compared with that Wimbledon final.
She's been asked endless times about that. She said she was over it. Match point, Graf.
good point to stay in this thing. Going toe-to-toe with Graf at the baseline.
How about that rally at 30 all? Rit deuce. It's called out. Novotna long on the baseline.
Advantage Graf.
That one was big. She lifted off that forehand. Watch her here. She lifts up on this thing. That's what happens when you're a little anxious, and it looked a little long. 22 forehand unforced errors from Jana Novotna.
And now a second match point for Steffi. Looking for Super Saturday. Games to Graf. Once again. She has beaten Novotna for the 10th straight time. And she will play in Saturday's final.
She battled hard. Graf must be delighted with that comeback, because Novotna was playing pretty well. She was really trying to pressure her. She congratulates Renee Stubbs, Heinz Gunnar congratulating her. It's a tough one for Novotna. Unforced errors, a very gaggy game at 5-all, where Novotna had 3 double faults. She'll have trouble sleeping tonight.
Let's go down to Andrea.
All right, we're with Jana Novotna. Jana, once again, you gave her a tough match and a great match for the crowd here. What happened in the second set when you were serving for the set at 5-3?
Well, I don't really think that it was a good game there at 5-3. I think I had a very good chance at 5-2 when I was 40-15 up on Steffi's serve. But I made 2 stupid mistakes, and then there was a hustle that game, and she was just luckier. I came in a few times after very good approach shot, but she was able to make that passing shot. But never mind, I gave my best performance, and I hope everybody enjoyed it.
Well, I think the folks did out here. Were you surprised at her up at the net so much?
Well, no, not really. I knew that every time she will have a short ball that she will try to approach to my backhand, because she's aware that I don't have such a great passing shot. So I was not really surprised, and I think I handled it pretty well.
You were frustrated by a lot of the calls out there. How difficult was it for you to keep that frustration in check?
Well, it was really frustrating in that case, that matter, because it was always happening on one line in this backhand corner on this side. I don't know what happened, but it was like 6 or 7 very close call. Every time I asked the chair umpire what she thought about it, she always went with the call. So there is not much I could do, but very windy conditions that made it very, very difficult for both of us. But once again, I'm very pleased with the way I got here and with today's match too.
And Wimbledon didn't flash through your mind?
Not once, and I'm really upset now with you that you didn't forget to ask me.
I'm sorry.
That's
Congratulations on a great tournament. We enjoyed watching you the whole time.
Thank you.
All right, back to you guys. Pat?
Thank you, Andrea. I don't think she's going to be that upset with you. And so Steffi Graf has to work on the weekend. And in this sport, that's exactly what you want to do. She's going to try for her 16th Grand Slam title. Signs a few autographs there, and she indeed is a champion, and she'll try to prove it on Super Saturday. And so she advances. And let's now take a look at the draw, because she'll play. There you see the score. She's not lost a set here at the U.S. Open, and now she'll go on to play the winner of our second semifinal between Sabatini and Sanchez Vicario. And Vitas Gerulaitis is still with us here. And you talk about a mark of a champion in Steffi Graf.
Yeah, definitely. Jana Novotna has a good game to play against her, but you know what happens? She gets to the winning position, and she plays a game where she expects Steffi Graf to make the mistakes. The great champions will not make the mistakes. Steffi Graf will win every time.
All right, let's go back out now on the stadium court. Andrea Joyce is with Steffi Graf. Andrea?
All right, thanks, Pat. Steffi, congratulations. Your matches have been going so quickly out here. The biggest challenge, the biggest test for you so far, is this the most satisfying?
Yeah, definitely. I think it was really difficult with the wind today, and also to play against Jana. I think she played exceptionally well. I mean, I was able to squeeze away in the second set when she really had a 5-2 lead, and a couple of chances to get the set and to even get it quicker, but there were some great rallies in there.
What did you tell yourself in the second set when she was serving for the set?
Well, I know she had to serve against the wind. It was the more difficult side she had to serve on. So I just told myself maybe just to get the returns in, and then she gave me a couple chances. I mean, I was a bit lucky to get the break. I had a net court. On the other one, I had a mishit passing shot. So I've been a bit lucky to get out of the second set.
Is this the kind of match you'd love to have heading into the finals? An energizing performance?
Yeah, definitely. But, you know, it's always a good match to have. If it's semi-final, final, whatever, I think we both enjoyed it out there, and it was a lot of fun.
And so did the crowd. Thanks very much, Steffi. Congratulations. Back to you, Pat.
Thank you, Andrea. She'll go to her 6th U.S. Open final. That's tomorrow, Saturday. We have more tennis here, though, on CBS, as we have our second semifinal today. Gabriela Sabatini, Arantxa Sanchez Vicario. That's coming up. Stay with us, folks. Hope you're enjoying your Friday on Championship Weekend.